Welcome to Leader Lifestyle Hub, where we are targeted for 200 book summaries. On this journey, we came here on the number of book number 40. And the name of the book that we have today is How to Do Nothing, written by Jenny Odell. Let us see the small information about author, top 3 lessons, and what this book contains and what we can take from this book. After that, we'll go for top 3 lessons in detail. So first of all, How to Do Nothing, written by Jenny Odell in 2019. And she is an artist and writer based in Oakland, California. She teaches at Stanford University and has been an artist in residence at Facebook, the Internet Archive, the Digital Library Hub, the San Francisco Planning Department, and the San Francisco Garbage Dump. Her art has been exhibited in the galleries around the world at the time. Now let us see the top 3 lessons from this book, How to Do Nothing. We think doing nothing is a waste of our time because of our ever diminishing line between the work and leisure. Generally, we think like this: doing nothing is a waste of our time because due to our work and leisure. There is a lot of beauty in the world to notice if you start the habit of pausing. Remember this line: there is a lot of beauty in the world if you start noticing the habit of pausing. Think more carefully about what other people's motives are for their actions, and you will have an easier time dealing with the minor inconveniences. Let us see what this book contains about. How to Do Nothing is a study of what's gone wrong in a contemporary society and what we can do to fix it and ourselves, how to fix ourselves. Ironically, the most effective tactic against our 24/7 culture of productivity might just be doing nothing. When we stop, step back, and refocus our attention, Jenny Odell argues we can begin to see the contours of a better, more meaningful existence. Can you repeat along with me? When we stop, step back, refocus our attention, we can begin to see the better and more meaningful existence. Let us see the small conclusion. In today's economy, every hour of the day is potentially monetizable, meaning that we have come to see doing nothing as a luxury we just cannot afford. However, that is a mistake. When we pause and really engage in the world, we can find deeper, more satisfying meaning in everyday experiences. If we want to live more meaningful lives, we need to reappraise what is valuable. So let us reappraise what is valuable. Let us see the top 3 lessons in detail from the blog summary. Okay, let me move on to the blog summary. Here comes the blog summary. Summary number 40-200, How to Do Nothing by Jenny Odell. Let us see the targeted audience. A 61-year-old grandmother who is involved in on social media. Like anyone who are involved in social media too much and in politics to relax. Or even they're reading newspapers and magazines, watching news all the time. The 35-year-old entrepreneur who is tired and needs a good reason to take a break, like me. And anyone that wants more calmness and clarity in their life. Let us see the small synopsis. How to Do Nothing makes you more productive and helps you have more peace by identifying the problems with our current 24/7 work culture, where it comes from, and how pausing to reflect how help you overcome it. Let me repeat this. How to Do Nothing makes you productive and helps you have more peace by identifying the problems with your current work culture and where it came from, and how pausing to reflect helps you overcome it. Let us listen from the Jenny Odell. Our very idea of productivity is premised on the idea of producing something new, whereas we do not tend to see maintenance and care as productive in the same way. In terms of favorite days, my favorite day of the week is Sunday. I take it as time to sharpen the saw by reflecting on the previous week and preparing for the next week ahead. I call my Sunday as automation day or reflection day. Most of all, though, I pass everything going on in my life to focus on only on what's most important. It feels amazing to talk less and avoid the internet and the devices as much as possible. I also enjoy a break from travel, shopping, and all forms of work. You could say that I love doing nothing. That's why I really loved reading Jenny Odell's How to Do Nothing, Resisting the Attention Economy. That is the tagline of the book. Resisting the Attention Economy. It's got everything you need to know about why always being connected is bad for you and where the habit came from. Most importantly, though, you will get some valuable tips for beating busyness so you can have more peace. Let us see a small review. This is such an important book for fast-paced world we live in today. I cannot tell you how relieving it is to get some advice that should stop hustling and listen and observe more so I can have peace. I have tried some of these tips already, and I can say that they make a huge difference immediately once you start implementing. Let us see top 3 lessons of this book. There are just 3 of the many lessons in this book that have helped me relax more. First lesson is we think doing nothing is a waste of our time because of the ever diminishing line between work and leisure. There is a lot of beauty in the world to notice if you start the habit of pausing. Think more carefully about what other people's motives are for their actions, and you will have an easier time dealing with minor inconveniences. Are you ready to discover the power of doing nothing? Let's get to it so we can try it out ourselves. Lesson number 1. It's constantly getting harder to see the difference between work and leisure. Now, many people are doing work from home, and there is hard difference between work and leisure. When they are working, when they are taking leisure time, no one knows, which is making us feel like doing nothing is a waste of time. In the late 1800s, workers in America wanted 8-hour workdays. In the words of a popular trade union song, they desired 8 hours of work, 8 hours of rest, and 8 hours of what we will. Essentially, they needed time outside of work to do nothing. In the 20th century, their effort paid off and the 8-hour workday became the normal. It seemed like all was well until recent events has confused us all as to real difference between work and leisure. People used to consider economic risk as something that only businesses needed to worry about. Society got used to the idea that if you got a job and worked hard, they had to take care of you. But these days, the typical job is not so secure anymore. If you are into the typical job, you need to upgrade yourself. The typical jobs currently is not so secure anymore. That's because labor movements that protected works right lost power in the 1980s. Now you have to take your financial freedom into your own hands. Combine this with the beginning of information age, and you get people competing against one another for gigs. Freelancing is on the rise as a popular way to gain the financial security that a job no longer can. But the problem is, we have been conditioned to believe that the best way to thrive in this economy is to never stop working. It's easy to see why we think that doing nothing is so terrible. Let us see the lesson number 2. Take pause more frequently and reflect, and you will begin to notice the wealth of beauty around you. Imagine this. The sun is about to set over the Pacific Ocean. A greeter checks. A greeter checks you in and directs you to sit in a folding chair as he reminds you not to take pictures. You sit in silence with other guests, watch the sunset, clap, enjoy refreshments together. Sounds a little weird, right? Well, this is a new form of art by Scott Polach called Applause Encouraged. It perfectly summarizes what it means to do nothing. This innovative art also lets us see how important noticing the world around us is. Rather than creating beautiful scenes for people to enjoy, Polach's work simply directs attention to it. The author calls this attention holding architecture. It's anything that encourages being present and contemplating that our busy lives usually prevent. I got to experience the power of this myself one afternoon while dealing with some anxiety during college. One of my friend's mom, upon seeing how worked up I was, directed me to go into their backyard and just sit in my friend's home. She told me to consider the details of everything I could see and just be curious about it all. After sitting down on a bench near the river behind their home, I saw the things I have never noticed before. As I directed my attention by doing nothing, I felt peace where there was once turmoil. So take pauses more frequently and reflect back what you have done by doing nothing. Let us see the lesson number 3. Mirror inconvenience or minor inconveniences are easier to deal with when you take a second to consider that everybody is just human. I don't honk at people that are rude while driving. If I get cut off, I sit back and relax, just enjoying driving and being with my family. For one, I know the maths and cutting people off never amounts to getting anywhere faster. But more importantly, I realized that the other person could just be having a bad day that I have no idea about. And that's no different than any one of my actions on my bad days either. So what's the point in getting frustrated with someone for being human? The truth is, you can never know what people are really going through. Remember this powerful point. You can never know what people are really going through. As David Foster put it in a commencement speech he once gave, we have two choices when presented with the frustrations and inconveniences of adult life. We can see things from our point of view, focusing on our own hunger, our own pains. When we do this, other people are only on an annoyance, mere obstacles in our way of getting what we want. We always think of our point of view, our own hunger, our own pains, our own challenges, our own issues. This is an easy way to live constantly irritable and miserable. The other option, the other side of the coin, is a recipe of freedom and peace. It involves pausing to consider that other people have motivations for their actions just like you do. Means putting yourself in the other person's shoes. Their lives are just as complicated as yours. Once you realize this, it doesn't matter what other people do to you. You know that sometimes life is just hard and people aren't strong enough to handle it well. So let me repeat the 3 lessons again. We think doing nothing is a waste of our time because of the ever diminishing line between work and leisure, but it is essential to take some time to reflect back. Think there is a lot of beauty in the world to notice if you start the habit of pausing. Sometimes that pause button requires. Think more carefully about what other people's motives are. Means Not only think about only your perspective, try to just take pause and think in their perspectives and for their actions, and you will have an easier time dealing with minor inconveniences. If you are facing any inconvenience with your partners, with your colleagues, with your friends, anyone, try to take some time to deal with their perspectives. And see you tomorrow with the revision of 4 book summaries. Thank you so much. Stay connected, keep progressing. Take some time to take pause and relax yourself. Nothing will going to change until you take pause. Take pause and relax, reflect back, and